First, just say what an honor and a privilege it is to formally second this bill presented by my friend from Kamloops, Thompson, Nicola. And just to say that we all come to this place to leave a mark and make a difference. And I think this piece of legislation is one of the ways in which that is a really measurable outcome. This bill certainly does all of that, and I strongly support it, and as all members in this House should, because it takes meaningful and concrete action to protect people from the growing scourge of intimate partner violence. It's even been called an epidemic in Canada, and it seems like everybody has stories of their own experiences with intimate partner violence. We hear about it from a close friend or a family member. We read about it online or on social media, and in some cases, we've heard, even in this House, that people have experienced it themselves. I will never forget what happened in my first month of being a member of Parliament, so ill-equipped for this job, not knowing what was ahead. This woman sat across from me, veiled behind a brave smile. Her long sleeves were covering bruising, and her face was masked with heavy makeup in some places on her face, claiming with a quiet confidence that she told me that when she told me that she tripped, she'd know I would understand what she was saying without me ever asking for any more detail. The story that she eventually told me made me realize in that moment that behind closed doors, every single word in her old life was a weapon. Every single apology was a trap. And it all started with control and not fists. And then came the fear, and then came the silence, and for her, then came the isolation. The story she told me ended long after it first began. She ended up packing a small bag, and it took all of the courage that she had. And that first step out her door was her first step into freedom. And these are the stories of survivors, the ones that you have to believe, the ones that have to be protected. And we blur out the details of these stories, not for effect, but to protect those who are still silently struggling so long after they've walked out that door. I just want to say to those who are watching this today, if that person is you, please talk to a police officer, please talk to somebody that you trust. It doesn't always look like that textbook experience that happened to me in my first month on the job. Kira Kagan's story was different. It was a story from right within my own community, a story that happened amongst my own peer group. Kira was a bright, beautiful 4-year-old girl. She had a smile that would light up a room, a sense of curiosity that made everyone around her know that someday she would go places. But tragically, she never got there. She will never graduate from school, start a career, start a family, or have kids of her own. Kira was killed 5 years ago by her father in a horrific act of domestic violence. Her life was stolen for her before it even had hardly begun. The warning signs were all there. At least 22 different risk factors were identified by a report after Kira's death. Her father was in a custody battle with her mother, Jen. He had a history of mental illness, domestic violence against Kira's mother and against other partners. He displayed misogynistic attitudes, he threatened others, even committed acts of violence against pets. But despite all of this, despite all of the red flags, the warning signs, the cries for help, Kira was still released into her father's custody in what only could be described as a colossal failure of the system. And she was killed just a few days later. In the last Parliament, the House unanimously passed a bill called Kira's Law, which expanded training for judges that included domestic violence and coercive control. And the bill introduced by my honourable friend picks up where that bill left off by modernizing detention of seized evidence, forcing those convicted of domestic violence to be released only by a judge, and threatening and treating the murder of an intimate partner as first-degree murder. Creating specific offenses matters. Specific offenses like assault on an intimate partner or criminal harassment on an intimate partner that could have helped in the tragic story of Kira. The legislation would allow the courts to detain the accused of intimate partner violence at any time for a risk assessment, the kind of assessment that would have been done before and not after things go wrong. That assessment could have saved Kira's life. We cannot and should not be complacent in fighting this scourge in this House. In just 10 years, intimate partner physical assault has increased by 14%. Harassment is up 38%. And intimate partner sexual assault is up a whopping 163%. We could talk all day about the reasons why this is happening, but nobody can deny that the lack of accountability in our justice system is a major reason why intimate partner violence and the crimes of all types are running rampant and out of control in this country. Let's take another case of somebody we've talked about in this House. Her name was Bailey McCourt. Bailey's partner, James Plover, was convicted of 3 counts of uttering threats and 1 count of assault by strangling in the case of intimate partner violence. He was released on bail and killed Bailey the very same day. She died in a parking lot, being beaten with a hammer. If our bail laws had been fixed, James McCourt would have not been allowed out on bail, and Bailey would be alive today to be the mother to her children. Her family is watching this right now. I actually spoke to her aunt in the lobby just a few minutes ago, and she's absolutely disgusted that this bill, frankly, won't be supported by the other side. She's disgusted at the comments coming from the other side. The same could be said for the over 120,000 victims of intimate partner violence in 2023 alone. Every case of this isn't just a statistic that we talk about in Parliament as a number. It's not an excuse to tell Canadians when they ask serious questions about the government to do something on bail that the government says it's coming tomorrow, next week, next month, or someday. Even 1 case of intimate partner violence should be enough to make this place act. Every preventable act should be a wake-up call to get people in the chairs in this place to do something about it. But instead, the changes that we propose in this place on the bail system or on sentencing requirements to the criminal code are voted down time and time again, only to be told again, it's coming tomorrow. But for Bailey and for Kira and for countless others, tomorrow never comes. Every day that we delay is another day for a serial abuser to harass their victims without consequences. That more men and women suffer physical and emotional trauma, that innocent lives are put in danger. Taking action someday, frankly, just isn't enough. Someday won't put the bad guys in jail. And now, the message to anyone who is watching and everyone on the other side is this: act now before more preventable tragedies happen, because the only thing worse than a case of intimate partner violence is a case that we had the ability to stop. This piece of legislation will save lives. It will prevent escalation and intimate partner violence. It will stop the warning signs when they first occur. It will keep those with a track record of violence behind bars. Police unions have told us we need this. Advocacy groups, frontline workers, women, victims, survivors, they've all told us that they need this. They all told us to strengthen the penalties of intimate partner violence, to make murder an intimate partner automatically first-degree murder, regardless of why it happened and how it happened. They told us most importantly, to put victims first. And that's exactly what my colleague's bill does. And I can only hope that everybody reconsiders in this place and stands up and does the right thing and remember exactly why we came here and support this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Hear, hear.